Parasha Meditation, Parashat Shelach Lecha. So this parasha is really special for me. Well, a lot of parashas are, but this one especially because in 1992, 29 years ago, we came back to Israel after having been away for 4 years in Queens and Memphis, Tennessee. We returned to Israel it was like a little aliyah. It was Parashat Ba'alotcha when you go up in America, and when we came, it was a different parasha. It was Parashat Shelach, and it was like really so pertinent for us because having been away from the land, we noticed like all the very tough and harshness of the land of Israel. Like, it has prickles like the sapra. And we noticed like there was light bulbs without a light lampshade. There were kids running around with runny noses. The walls were peeling, and we were like, oh, this is, I missed the cushioned red carpet of America where everything is like much more organized on the outside. So then what happened was that as it became Shabbat, my husband and I, we were going to learn something in Parashat Hashavua and fell into our lap Sfat Emet, the commentary of Sfat Emet on the Parasha. And there we read, whoa, there's, this, we're just like the spies. We're looking at the surface. We're looking at the negative. The spies were supposed to be turim, they were supposed to latour, to search for the good points of the land. Latour literally means to explore. Instead, they became meraglim. They went to leragel, which is to look for the negative. That's also meaning spies. So we realized that's what we were doing. And we had to transform ourselves back from leragel, to be like spies, to latour, to be like explorers of the good. And it was really, really painful process of shedding the exterior layers and really seeing the inner soul of the land of Israel. That's where the beauty is. That's where the holiness is. And so it's like we had to crack the nut open, the shell of the nut, in order to enjoy the fruit of the land of Israel. And so this is what this whole parasha is about. It's about developing inner vision. And so when we have the inner vision, and only when we have inner vision, can we really see the goodness of the land of Israel. There's many obstacles. There are a lot of rough things. Maybe salaries are lower here than in America. Maybe if you're even lucky enough to get a job here, maybe the beds are not as soft and cushioned. And maybe people could be pushy and a bureaucracy could be frustrated. Not to mention that it seems like a lot of things are disorganized, even though we saw with the vaccination recently that Israel was praised for being extremely organized. So this is 29 years ago. A lot has happened since I had this experience. But in any case, when we still have to look for the inner hidden light of the land, it could be so strong that it almost blinds us. Our emunah can lead us to overcome all the exterior obstacles and connect with the divine essence, which is inherent in the Holy Land, like no other land has this divine essence in it. And it's similar to Shabbat. Like for those who are Balchuvas like me, first, when you start keeping Shabbat, it can be very overwhelming. All the things you're not allowed to do, all the forbidden works, they may blind us from appreciating the gift of Shabbat. But when we keep keeping Shabbat, keep keeping it, then we gradually sensitize ourselves to receive its blessing. So that's like similar to when we live in the land of Israel, we can gradually open ourselves to receive the hidden blessings of the land of Israel. And so there are a lot of impure husks surrounding the land, the Canaanites and the Amalekites. And so it's important to prepare ourselves spiritually for entering the land by knowing what are the nature of these husks, so we also can know how to overcome them. Not just look at them as exterior enemies that are strong and threatening, but when we understand the spiritual root, which is what Emunah healing is all about, we can understand how, with Hashem's help, they can be conquered. And the main thing is we have to have Emunah that Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, has a supernatural quality, that Hashem's eye is constantly overseeing the land of Israel. And the spies was lacking this kind of Emunah, and that's why they were unable to inherit the land. Caleb and Yeshua, they're the only ones of the 12 leaders of the tribes who didn't who responded to the people's complaint about the land of Israel in a way of Emunah, and they said to the whole congregation of Israel, the land that we pass through to explore this land is very, very good. And that's in Bamidbar 14:7. So they encourage the Israelites to understand that if you look at for the spiritual quality of the land, then the good light is hidden within it. We can reveal that hidden light. Because really the Jewish people and the land of Israel, we are all intertwined, we are all one. And Israel becomes rectified through the land of Israel, and the land becomes rectified through Israel. And that's what it says in Yeshayahu. Your people, the children of Israel, are all righteous. Therefore, they shall inherit the hidden land. Yeshayahu 60:21. And so the word hidden is in Ne'elam. That both means land, olam, that means the world, and also means hidden. So we have the ability, the Jewish people, to crack the husk open and actualize that hidden light within the land. And that's why first it says when Hashem first created the world, the land was desolate and void. And only afterwards does it say, let there be light. So everything in this world is like that. There is a husk that you have to open up, that you have to crack, and then the light, then the fruits and the goodness is inside of that. And so that's why the spies said, the land through which we have gone to search is a land that eats its inhabitants. They were only seeing the darkness and the desolation and the void. The land of Israel truly is the root of all blessings in the world. This is something the spies did not understand. That really the land of Israel spit out all the nations who lived there who are not suitable for the land, because the land of Israel, Eretz Yisrael, is suitable for Am Yisrael, for the Jewish people alone. It will not vomit you out when you defile it, as it vomited out the other nations before you. Does it say in Vayikra? Only Caleb and Yeshua understood that the Jewish people have the power to reveal the hidden light within the land when we believe in its spiritual nature. That's why they stated the land is exceedingly good. If Hashem desires us, then He will bring us into the land. The land of Israel is similar to the Shabbat. Shabbat is the source of all the blessings, like it says in the Zohar, and also the land of Israel is the root of all the blessings in the world, even if you don't always recognize it on the surface. So I want to say that Shabbat is the source of all the blessings in terms of time, while Eretz Yisrael is the source of all the blessings in terms of space. So now get ready for the actual meditation. Make yourself comfortable. Take several deep breaths and relax. Relax even more. Relax. Imagine one of your favorite places in the land of Israel. It could be a sandy beach with blue frosty waves of water, or perhaps the green mountains of the Galilee. You may be drawn to the plain, empty, vast desert, or the fervent, fiery stones of the Kotel, that's the Western Wall, or any other holy place or nature spot in Eretz Yisrael that you really love. Visualize your chosen place. Take it in visually with all of its colors, shapes, and textures. Now hear the sounds of your favorite place. The birds singing, the people praying, the water gushing, the wind blowing, etc. Whatever else you hear, just allow yourself to open yourself to hear the sounds of the land. Touch your favorite place and feel its textures. Which parts are soft, rough, dry, or moist, cold or hot? Smell the fragrance of the flowers, the richness of the soil, or the freshness of the grass after the rain, or perhaps the perspiration of the person sitting next to you. Now taste the taste of the place. Is it the salty or the sweet waters, the fruits growing in your chosen place? Even the air has a taste. Take in your favorite place with all of your senses. Feel comfortable and enjoy. Mentally thank Hashem for having created this place that your soul yearns for in Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael can be broken into Aleph, 1, Ratz, run, Yashar, straight, Kel, to God. 1, run straight to God. Inhale, Aleph, exhale, Ratz, run. Inhale, Yashar, exhale, El, to God. See if you can repeat that a few times on your own. Aleph, Ratz. Aleph, and then, hold on, and then Yashar, El. That's Eretz Yisrael. Aleph, Ratz. Yashar, El. Aleph, Ratz. Yashar, El. Last time. Aleph, Ratz. Yashar, El. Now imagine a place in Israel that you have a difficult time with. Perhaps it's noisy, smelly, or tense. Possibly you may feel it is disorganized, tough, and rough. Perhaps in place of a red carpet, you encounter thorns. Tune into this place. Notice the things that disturb you about it. Okay, breathe Hashem's light into the challenges you face in this place and try to get in touch with the redeeming qualities of each of them. Maybe the roughness that meets you is an expression of honesty and sincere directness or directedness. When you open your inner vision, you can transform the tense to become intense. Repeat the Eretz Yisrael breathing sequence again as you envision a place that is difficult for you to relate to in the land of Israel. Visualize each of the difficulties bursting one by one as you breathe in the letters of Eretz Yisrael. Aleph, Ratz, Yashar, El. Aleph, Ratz, Yasha El. Aleph Ratz. Yasha El. Aleph Ratz. Yasha El. Okay. And now we're going to, oops. With practice, you'll develop your inner vision and actualize the hidden light of the land, even within its darkest places. When you're ready, you can softly tap your hands and feet and open your eyes. And I wanted to ask you if you want to hear the poem that I read when I just came back to Eretz Israel. So I think you want to hear it, no? And so I'm going to, it's connected to Parasha Shelach Lecha. It's based on what we learned in Sfat Emet. The land of Israel is like a nut that must be cracked. We need faith to believe that the fruit exists within the shell. The shell that blocks our vision calls attention to the rough and difficult life, yet our emunah will lead us to see with other eyes. When we let our eyes penetrate beneath the shell, then we'll be ready to crack it open. The shell is like nature, the fruit is beyond. If we try to exist in this land according to the rules of nature, then the shell becomes like a wall which pushes us out. Only when we surrender to the will of God will we be able to crack the nut open and see the hidden light which fills this land. We discovered that the shell was only part of our own limitation, a reflection of our blocked vision, now penetrated and dissolved. We need not discard the shell, but employ it in building bridges above struggling waters and channel them into canals and ditches. Like love flows from the heart, transforming our lives to nurture gardens of Eden. Okay, so that was, oops.